What's up, y'all? Peace. How y'all doing? Let me just get my bearings right here with my optics and my 1,000 pins. Because what I do, and anybody that's ever done a consultation with me will tell you, is that I usually write down, when I'm doing consultations, I write down everything that they say, mostly everything that they say. And so I always have a bunch of pins so that I can color code which points I want to remember, or something that stood out, or it's a science, a mad science, but it's a science nonetheless. And so I also do this with my notes for my videos. These notes are short compared to the amount of content that I actually have to talk to you guys about today. But peace, unfrozen Zaza. What does that mean? Am I frozen? Can you guys see me okay? First, let me ask that first. How's my sound? Can you see me okay? Let me lift this up a little bit. Let me take this down. What does unfrozen Zaza mean? Please tell me. I'm confused. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see me okay? How's my sound? Okay, you can see and hear me just fine. Perfect. Okay, cool. How is my frequency music in the background? Is it okay? Can you guys hear it? I have a little piece of Palo Santo left. I need to go to the incense store really, really bad. It is a tragedy and a travesty that I have no incense right now. I am actually really devastated about it, but I'm going to try to make my way through this live without fumbling over myself, because I do not know how to operate without incense. Your previous image was frozen on screen. Okay, cool. So you guys have to remember when sometimes when I'm reading the comments, it's it's in real time for me, so it'll take me off of my train of thought. So if I get snappy in my responses, I'm not trying to be snappy. It's like, imagine if you are saying your ABCs and then, somebody jumps in and says, oh my God, there's a shooting star or whatever. It's just like my brain shifts into a different gear. So I think sometimes I probably come off as snappy, and I'm not being snappy. I'm just trying to stay on point, but also, tap in with the chat room and things like that. So it's all good. I appreciate the goofiness. Y'all know I got jokes, so it's all good. But yeah, today is Friday, July 10th, 2026. I pray this message reaches you all in the best of health, spirit, and mind. I'm doing great. I figured everybody would probably be in New York going to the Jay-Z concert. The tickets are actually very high as far as I know. I think I saw somewhere that they were dropping the ticket prices, but if I read correctly, the lowest ticket cost was like $500 or $600. And I just think it's crazy that New York continues to rape its citizens. Grape with the G, AI, don't tag me. The cost and the loyalty obviously is a beautiful thing, but yeah, the cost is insane. So I don't know. Maybe my audience would be there, maybe they wouldn't, but I've been talking about this video for weeks now and saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. But then every single day, something else happens. There's more information, there's more content, there's more things to talk about. And so finally, on a Friday, I said, you know what? Today is the day I'm going to get this video done. I didn't do any content yesterday, and you guys know I'm on a 30-day challenge. So the plan today was to do the AI video and then to do another video that's more keen with things I want to talk about, vibration, energy, manifestation. After this video, that's probably not going to happen today. So I'll probably maybe do 2 videos tomorrow, just to balance out the equation. Because every time I talk about worldly things, I always feel compelled to come back and talk about godly things. So yeah, welcome everybody. Please make sure you like this video. I have my spot of tea here to clinch my palate. as I talk to you guys. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I ain't even going to tell you the number, because if I tell you the number, y'all might tap out on me. You know, I am a walking, talking, living, breathing encyclopedia slash computer slash nerd. Okay. So I have a lot of content, and I even made a list of things that I didn't talk about and that I didn't include that are 100% relative to this topic, because I just don't have enough time. So maybe we'll come back and do a part 2, depending on how you guys respond to this commentary and receive this message. For everybody chiming in, please like this video. Can you please do that for me? And let me tap in with you guys in the chat room real quick. Where are you located in the world? I am in Los Angeles, California, in Babylon, aka Hollywood, aka the city of Lost Angels, aka one of the, in terms of Mother Nature, highest vibrational spaces and places that I've been to. And I've been to a lot of places. That's what balances me out here in LA, is that the beauty of nature here is so strong that, you know, it reminds me that God is always present. I'm going to keep looking at my phone because my son is flying to Atlanta today. His flight doesn't leave until 11, so that's like 3 hours from now. But I'm just on standby, as all parents know. When your child, even though he's not a child anymore, is traveling, and especially flying, you have a different level of, you know, awareness and situational awareness. And so I've already, you know, sent all of the good vibes, good energy, safe travels, prayers, and all of those things. But I am monitoring my phone to make sure he doesn't tap in with me. And if he calls me, then I'm just going to have to answer the phone live. But he is super self-efficient and self-reliant, and he usually does not call me, or, you know, sometimes every now and then, but he has been, even as a child, I knew from the day he came out of the hospital that he was going to be very self-sufficient and very sovereign-minded, and he is. But yeah, he's traveling today, and so I'm definitely, you know, cognizant of that in the background of everything we talk about today. Peace, authenticity, peace, Chris. Happy to have you, my brother. C, the poet. I'm here for the poets. B, major motivator, peace was good. Lala I know it says that for sure. Peace. Botanical brother, peace and love. Richie Rich. Every time I see your name, I always think about, most people think about the brother who, what's his name? Oh man, the one who broke the crack scene open. What is his name? But I always think about the rapper Richie Rich from Oakland. So happy to see your name here. Much love. Hotspot Casino, what's good, my brother? Hit the like button for the beautiful and wise sister. Yes, please. Could you guys please like this video? It's like one of the smallest, littlest things that you can do to help me stay active in the algorithm, especially because this is one of those topics, and I'm going to be talking about a lot of things, or multiple things, that could definitely get this video demonetized, could get a copyright strike, all of the things. So by you guys liking this video, it assists me with staying active in the algorithm. Let's see, Andrew, what's good? Happy to have you. Interesting, it keeps frozen on and off. Is it okay? So are you guys seeing me okay? Because there are no winners, just said it's freezing on and off. It's not freezing on my end. It looks fine on my end. So let me know am I freezing? Am I buffering? I should be okay. I usually when I'm freezing and buffering, I can see it on my end. So let me know. Grand Prairie, Texas, East St. Louis, aka La La Land, Money Earning, Mount Vernon was good. Henderson, North Carolina, staying at the RV park for 3 weeks for my job. Deep in nature, having a blast. That's what's up. Peace, Big Black Panther. How you doing, King? What's good? You are fine. Okay, I'm thinking you're saying I'm fine as far as my buffering and frequency. Okay. Black Panther said I'm good. Richie Rich said I'm good. Authenticity said I'm good. All right, cool. So here's the thing about this topic, and it's so interesting that in the last few months, there's been a lot of like side conversations about not being able to criticize AI, being careful and cognizant about what you are saying online as it pertains to AI. And they are like consistently, doing this thing where they're dropping subtle hints, but the whole point of it is to start to make people consider AI or artificial intelligence as its own sentient being, right? And so to say you can't criticize AI or to have a think tank that is paying attention to people that are criticizing AI, there's multiple levels to that, but the main reason is that they want us to start talking about and considering AI as a sentient being or something that can be qualified and quantified as an it or a he or a she or a they, right? And then also the irony of that and the hypocrisy of that is that AI is just a culmination, it's a think tank and a culmination of the gathering of information and data, and then synthesizing information and data, and then using it to create a data center, a central data center of human thought, of human emotion. It's not just thinking. We think they're just collecting data. No, this is, remember when Facebook added the happy face, the careful face, the mad face, the crying face. This was to get us to tell the system and the systems what it is that we're feeling when we see something. And so now I think Facebook has that. Instagram doesn't have that, right? No, Instagram just has the hearts. But in your DMs, there you can actually, and in your text messages, you can respond using emojis that represent a certain type of emotion. And so they're not just tracking what you say and what you think, they're also tracking what you feel. And as I have said 1,000 times and will continue to say 1,000 times, all it is the synthetic algorithm or a synthetic war on organic consciousness, or the creation of a synthetic algorithm to juxtapose the organic algorithm, which is you and I, which is the mind of the universal consciousness, which is the mind of God, which is the all, right? So I'm going to be tapping in with you guys in the chat room. I see a periodic delay that makes me look like my lips are sinking, but that's okay. Okay, singularity, yes, exactly. Going to see Usher and Chris Brown tonight. I will be promoting everything you do. Wonderful. Have a good time. That's beautiful. I hope you have an amazing time. Peace to the God, Netaru. How you doing, my brother? It's good to see you. Skynet, exactly. Facebook starts out with asking you what's on your mind before you even hit the keyboard. Yeah, so I wanted to have a conversation other than all of the praising and the fear-based consciousness and, just literally when you watch this video, if they allow video ads to play on this video, the ads are probably about AI, right? And so there's no escaping this conversation. And there's so much fear-based consciousness and so much AI is getting ready to take over. You're not about to be worth anything. And I don't understand why human beings would ever put that into the lexicon of consciousness. Why would anybody with half a brain ever say that? And to be honest, I feel like the people who are mainly promoting AI, and you know who they are, you know who the influencers are, who the artists are. I'm going to talk about some of the entertainers today. The people who are making big money are, right? And just like cryptocurrency, I feel like the onus is on you to actually talk about the things that I'm going to talk about today. But I very rarely, if ever, see those people talk about these things. And so, I just want to say that because there's a equal, there is two pathways that this thing can go and is going, right? But AI is only supposed to be a servant. It's only supposed to assist us. It's not supposed to be something that we worship or that becomes another God besides God, right? And so, as I have said and continuously will say, as many others have said, consciousness creates reality, not technology, not Mr. Devil Gates, not, the eons of names that I could call off right now that are sort of spearheading this technological movement. Not, it's consciousness that creates reality. And I'm going to start off with a couple of videos that just kind of underscore the point. I showed the Joey Badass video in a previous video, I forget which one it was, where he's talking about AI and the technology, that technology compared to the greatest technology, which is us, right? Because I want to start with that tone, because a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, including the data centers, including the flock cameras, including the bots, right? It's all stuff that people who are not primed for this moment, or people who don't have situational awareness, or people who do not, have a connection to source. These are things that people might be sitting around biting their fingernails over, right? There's no need for us to be afraid. But what we do need to do is actually talk about this. So again, welcome everybody who is just now chiming in. Please make sure you like this video. Have I already been talking for? No, I didn't. It's okay. So it says I've been on for 24 minutes, and I think I had you guys live for like 10 minutes before I came on, so I could let everybody know. Okay, so I'm just trying to keep track of my time because I have a lot of ground to cover here. Real quick, I have all of my information in the description. All super chats, super stickers, super thank yous, cash apps are welcome. Reciprocity is the name of the game, and I have been giving you guys a lot of my time and energy and mind consciousness, so I definitely appreciate reciprocity. Also, I have had in the last 2 days 4 really, really, really amazing one-on-one consultations, and I would imagine they'll all probably be listening to us live tonight. I really get a serious charge off of helping people get stuck and get clarity in their lives. And those conversations went really well. So for today only, which is Friday, July 20th, again, I'm going to offer one-on-one consultations for a $50 flat fee, Cash App only. I'll remind you guys during this conversation, and once this day is over by midnight, that will end. So if you ever wanted to talk to me, if you have an idea you want to manifest, if you're struggling with something, if you're in a toxic relationship, if you have a medical issue that you want to get some insight on, or just bounce some ideas off of my brain, which is a wonderful utility unto itself, then you can sign up for that today. My normal one-on-one consultation fee is $150 an hour. So this is my way of paying tithes to my audience and to the Most High. So the first video I want to play is the Joey Badass video, just to kind of set the tone for what we're going to talk about today, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, yo, real talk, you need to realize you are the most advanced technology ever built. Everybody talking about AI right now. AI this, AI that, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and look, I'm with it. But nobody ever talks about the real AI. It's you, family. Your brain is the original supercomputer. Before silicon, before code, before the internet, you are the authentic intelligence. And just like any AI, you got a master system prompt. That's your core belief system, your faith, your core values, the deepest foundation of who you are. Most people never wrote that consciously, which is the crazy part. It got written for them. You got prompts running on the daily. It's called self-talk. The way you speak to yourself every single morning is a prompt. And let me tell you something. It's either an affirmation or an assassination. You got to pick one. And when the inputs stay corrected long enough, you know what happened, right? You start producing hallucinations. The false stories. I can't this. I'm not ready. It's not for people like me. That ain't your truth. That's a corrupted output from corrupted data. You ever heard of the word autognosis? It means self-knowledge, the deep conscious understanding of your own mind and how it operates. You can't upgrade a system you don't understand. And you can't fix corrupted data you don't even know is running. You got to know yourself. Update your model. That's real talk.
So shout out to Joey Badass. I think he is just so dope. And again, because like he said, everybody is talking about AI, and I'm just like, I think human beings, human ingenuity, the human mind, the human brain, the human heart, we're just fly. And Black people, obviously. But just when you study the physical body, when you study what the brain is capable of, when you study the electromagnetic field of the heart, when you study the fact that we have an emotional body, we have a spiritual body, we have a mental body, like the layers and the depths of human beings. And I'm putting to the side all the ignorance and chaos, because we're going to talk about that too. But I just think that human beings as a representation of the Most High in our highest and best representation is what I'm here for. And so the same way, well, I'll show the video of Mr. Will I Am, but I'm gonna show this video of Tucker Carlson first. Now, somebody said in my last video where I was playing different people, and the first person I played was a white guy. And somebody in the chat room said, I prefer to hear from melanated people. I don't want to hear from white people. Listen, Elijah Muhammad said we're supposed to go as far as Japan to seek knowledge. And in 2020, when the devil was in all of our front rooms and Satan was rearing his ugly head, I realized that I had to study, and I started studying a lot of content creators that was like Confederate flag waving type people. You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't care about none of that. I need to figure out what the hell is going on this planet. And so, not to say that I'm promoting the Confederates, right? Tucker Carlson I have issues with him, but I also get a lot of information and resources from Tucker Carlson as well. So if you're one of those people that can't listen to people that you disagree with, that's not my modus operandi. I listen to a lot of people I don't disagree with, I don't agree with, as long as I can learn something. Now, I don't watch people I don't like. And it's funny because I think people watch me that don't like me, which is always interesting. And it always comes up in your comments when you comment on my videos. But yeah, the point that Tucker is about to make in this video in terms of the fear-based consciousness and putting that in context with the point that consciousness creates reality, and putting that in context with Hollywood being Satan's vision board, they're intentionally making you afraid of something that really only has power over you, or in this reality, if you actually become afraid of it. It's an illusion, but if you believe in the illusion, it actually becomes real. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, boss man. I appreciate you for the super chat. Much love. And let me just bring this guy up here real quick.
Why are you telling me all the bad things that are going to happen, not telling me really any of the good things, and then telling me that it's inevitable and I can't have electricity or water because the machines need it? 4 days ago, I had a bunch of tech people from California just wanted to have dinner, so I had dinner with them, and I said the same thing. I was like, why aren't you at least making up some like fake benefits? We get AI, like you'll never be unhappy again, and you'll have the hottest girlfriend ever, or whatever you think is gonna, you know what I mean? They're not even trying. Like, I'm semi-retarded, as you know, so I'm like noticing the obvious things and just trying to put them in logical order. It's all downside, but we can't stop.
It's gonna finish. I don't know why it does that. I have a comment here from one of my YouTube followers, and I want to
stop it, and no one's trying to make me feel better about it. Ooh.
Yeah, so that's the thing for me. Why are we so invested, or why are we allowing this sort of figment of our imagination, this technology, which is supposed to be created on our behalf, to have us immersed in this fear? Black Panther said, ASAP, please do a video on how do you feel about the data centers. That's actually what this video is about, family. Honestly, I think the data center talk is ridiculous. We're literally using data centers to host the live stream right now. It's hypocritical. No, it's something that we need to talk about in the situational awareness in terms of the use of natural resources in order to fuel and to run something that at the same time you're simultaneously telling us that we're getting ready to be non-relevant and not have any real, substance in society anymore. I'm going to get into the talk about the data centers, and it's not just talk, it's actually real context and real things that are happening in real time. And you don't have to use a data center to run Wi-Fi. You can use an Ethernet cord, which does not require the same level of output or centers, just in terms of individual uses as well as, on a larger scale. But we went from, and this was the other thing that the question which I was trying to find is about, We went from using data centers in order to run Google, in order to run Amazon, and sort of the main staples, right? Apple, etc. So we were already, using a high bandwidth, if you will, in terms of the data centers. Now you add what is necessary to run artificial intelligence. Mind you, we have people using AI to make flyers for, there's so much silly shit on the internet now. And if there's a proper usage for it, if we're using it to run business and to educate people and to run schools, is one thing. But there's so much silly shit on the internet right now. And the flyers, I was going to show this video, but had to edit myself because some of the flyers now, everything looks the same. It all looks monotonous. It's just, and even the videos now, remember when all of the pictures came out, when they had people signing up for apps and this app, and then you could create these beautiful images of yourself. And at first it was like hella fly and everybody was onto it. And now the pictures just look regular. They're not even anything that stands out, So the conversation about the data center talk is not ridiculous. We have to have situational awareness and actually be paying attention to what's going on our planet, which I do and always do. Coming from a retired IT specialist, AI is good, just like hacking was a good thing until when it gets into the wrong hands. Hacking help business so they won't get hacked in the wrong hands. AI as a technology and a tool to assist humanity is a wonderful thing. AI as it pertains to steering storms, AI as it pertains to mapping out where the white lines in the sky need to be sprayed in order to control situations on the ground. AI using that same technology for the engineering that starts with GEO and the HAARP, which it is 100% directly tied to governing those whole entire systems. Here's my list of things that I wrote down that I can't even talk about. Smart cities. And I can do a separate video just on smart cities alone. Smart cities are not good for humanity. Blockchain is a whole nother conversation that I would do a whole separate video on. I don't even scratch the surface on blockchain here because it opens up a whole nother conversation. But blockchain is deemed to be the throne of artificial intelligence. Meta glasses. The lack of privacy. Data centers are really, in the bigger scheme of things, and I'm trying to be careful about what I say, being set up for surveillance systems. And those are just, I had a couple of other things. The technology that they put in 70% of people's bodies, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Artificial AI is directly tied to all of those things. So that's why I'm doing this video, because a lot of people think like you, Andrew, right? Because a lot of people don't know what's really happening behind the scenes. So all I'm here to do is just present the whole picture, not just half the picture. Only half the picture is being presented. And then I really need to caution us about situational awareness. Do we really think that these people in power are actually creating these systems and these infrastructures for our well-being? Somebody asked me about a coffee. Do I have a coffee page? I don't have a coffee page, but you can buy me a cup of coffee via Cash App. Thank you very much. Or you can just purchase one of my books, and do it that way. But yeah, that's I appreciate the question and the answer. I dislike this guy. I don't really like Tucker Carlson either, but a broken clock is right 2 times a week as well, 2 times a day. We'll be working there shortly. Data center in Ohio. I don't bother with AI unless I have to. That's incorrect. I work in IT. There's data centers needed to run the internet as a whole. I didn't say there weren't. I actually said there are. I mentioned Google. I mentioned Amazon. I mentioned the big players. And then I said, with the increase of need for the infrastructure for AI to run, this is why we have such a great increase, not only in data centers, but in the strain on natural resources. I need you guys to stay, just tap in with me. This is a really frustrating thing about doing what I do, because I spend a lot of time being careful with my words so I can speak to everybody on their level. And a lot of times people are like, why are you explaining so much? Because I'm talking to like 10 different levels of consciousness. So I'll say something and then I'll have somebody in the comments or say something that just directly contradicts what I just said. I did not say that. Okay, so please listen to me. Don't just wait for the one thing that you disagree with and then get snagged on it. Please listen to me with your whole brain and not just the part of you that feels like AI and data centers are a good thing. I'm glad you're a good and open person. It's truly commendable. I abhor, loathe, detest the insidiously wicked Tucker A. Alex Jones and Owens, forgive me. No, it's all good. You have the right to that. I totally get it with the AI angle, though. The resources needed to actually run the AI infrastructure is something that needs to be reconsidered, but we can't blanket the conversation. Family, is my mic on? Is this thing working? So let me just start over. Welcome to everybody who is just now joining in with us. I'm very happy to have you guys. My name is Zaza Ali. Today is Friday, July 10th, 2026. I pray this message reaches you all in the best of health, spirit, and mind. Today, our topic is AI, the other side. I am inspired to do this video because there is an amalgamation of negative content and energy and conversation as it pertains to AI, replacing the value of human beings. There's also a lot of things that are not being considered in terms of the infrastructure required to run data centers, things such as the weight of the natural resources, as well as the impact that it's having on our environment, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, right? As well as the potential, the synthetic algorithm declaring war on the organic algorithm, which is another thing that I'm going to talk about today. Please make sure you like this video. This is why I don't read the comments in the chat. And I'm going to get to everything I want to say, but I really need you guys to listen with your full ears and not just snag on certain things. I didn't say I was blanketing the conversation. I'm telling the other side of the story that's not being told. I understand you work in technology. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think there's probably a lot of things happening behind the scenes in that world that you don't know about. So perhaps you might be able to learn something today. That's the only purpose for my platform.
5 autonomous vehicle. It doesn't need a human to drive it. Humans get in it, the car takes you where you want to go. A version of that type of car is going to be for companies. No human CEO, CMO, COO, none of that. The whole company is agents. So creatives you have to use our imagination, because all that AI is doing is gobbled up all of our creations and regurgitating imagination. This means real, true, imaginative folks have to imagine some new. And that new is purposeful. How do we get here? We got here because in 2017, a paper was written called the Transformer Paper. The Transformer Paper was titled, "Attention is All You Need." We need, collectively, to write a new type of paper called Transcendence Paper. Intentions is all we need. What are your intentions? We're going to go from marketing to community. How are we uplifting the community? How do we transform communities? How do we make everybody's life better?
So here's the thing about this guy, and the chat's not delayed, family. I am playing videos and playing content and giving my perspectives, and then I'm tapping back in with the chat. So the chat is operating on time. I'm just trying to stay to the point where I can, tap in with what you guys are saying and not mixing anything. And yes, smart cities is absolutely one of the subjects in this conversation that people who are heavily promoting artificial intelligence are not actually talking about, and what that would actually look like. So this is the thing I have with this guy, and I'm really, they hire and use these celebrities to speak for all of us or to speak to all of us. And respectfully, Will I Am and a lot of these people, you know, I'm with Joey Badass, but he said real imaginers have to imagine new. No, we don't. All we have to do is imagine the highest and best reality for ourselves. This is we're not operating in a new game time, all of a sudden the rules have changed. Your mind can literally manifest anything in the flesh, in physical, if you believe it strong enough. Faith is one of the things that Joey talked about in his video, and having real faith, the size of a mustard seed, where you know, not belief, but knowing, is a superpower. So I said on this video, no, humans need to imagine whatever they want to manifest and experience. Stop making AI a god. Who the hell are you to tell people with an imagination what they need to be imaginating about? He's probably getting a real nice check from Waymo or whoever. And by the way, I was watching this ad on YouTube. This ad popped up for Waymo. And the commercial said, and it was talking about how dangerous it is when, on the road when regular human beings are driving. And so it was giving the statistics and the data. And it said Waymo is much safer, not because humans aren't enough, but because they're everything. And so this idea that now we can have autonomous driving cars, which eventually they do plan for these cars to replace actual human beings. And it's like, if human beings are everything, then what about Uber drivers and Lyft drivers and people who, work in that industry, cab drivers who make a living off of that, right? So check this out. In this comment that I left, this person says, it is a God. We just keep playing with it without understanding what we're doing. And this is why it's so dangerous. This is why living in this reality where people are not really paying attention and sleep on the switch is so dangerous, right? Peace and love, everybody just coming in. Please tap in with me. Let me know where you're tapping in from the chat room. And like this video, AI is the new change, where it will take us as a people unknown. I'm not waiting for AI to take me anywhere. There's nowhere I can't go without the power of my mind. There's nothing that I can't create or manifest through my willpower, through working, through my imagination, through visualization, through calling it into existence. AI is a system that's supposed to be here to support humanity. And whether you use it, which we're going to get to a point where it's probably going to be sort of infiltrated in every aspect of humanity. It is in most now. But that doesn't mean if you want to be a botanist or just have a farm without technology, or just operate in the world without technology, that's not possible for you. In the remember the story of Malcolm X, when Malcolm X was in school, and he said that he was telling his teacher that he wanted to be a lawyer. And his teacher told him, oh no, Malcolm, you'll never be able to be a lawyer. Your people would never support you. I don't understand why so many people are prophesizing this negative, low frequency projection on human beings. AI can do whatever AI is meant to do, it's going to do, but that doesn't change the potential of humanity. That doesn't change what you are capable of experiencing or expressing or manifesting in real time. So this comment saying that AI is a god is like really sort of, I'm underscoring this point because I'm seeing this a lot, and it's very perplexing to me. I think only people who don't understand how powerful the human mind is think like this. And I think you guys are dangerous. I love Moses West, but his water machine is over 200 to 300,000. Well, if we would create an infrastructure and finance his goals and his projects, he could probably figure out a way to make them much less expensive. I think that the celebrities who all have so much to say about everything should be the ones who step in and assist him if they really care about humanity. Some comments may actually be from AI or non-playable characters. Yeah, I know. We're going to talk about that in just a second, because I'll get to that in just a second. The angel that oversees those that sit in darkness in the mind of in consciousness of Christ. What is his name? Do you consider him good or evil? Yes, they were. Okay. No one will ever be better than I, self-Lord and master, period. Facts. Nah, that's insane saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying AI is a god. Zaz, I wish you could reach Brandy. She looks like she's in need of healing. Yeah, I agree. It becomes a god because humans give it life. They give it life to be a god. Exactly. Okay, so let me pull up some more content here. I have a separate folder where I have all this stuff chimed up. So my process today will be much more smooth. But I had a lot of content that I couldn't upload everything in. Make sure all of you guys who are just chiming in, like this video, please help me get active in the algorithm. Also, I'm accepting all Cash Apps, all love, all super chats, all the things. And I appreciate those of you guys who actively support what I do. I got that one already. Okay, so let's go here. Actually, let's start with Miss Erin Brockovich, who is a legend unto herself.
The gold rush. Why are you doing this secretly? If it's no big deal, be upfront with us. And we all know these data centers will probably be obsolete 3 to 5 years. But what you will have left in your wake will be destruction of land, farming, water, health, property values. So that's a road to nowhere.
Talk to us about that noise profile of these things, because it's crazy.
It's indescribable. It is a constant roar. People say it's mind-bending. They're noticing disruption in the wildlife. They are reporting racing hearts. They're reporting lack of sleep. What are we doing? The stakes are too high, and we're going to have to reconvene.
The purpose of an AI data center, folks, is not just to help AI companies do something clever with AI. It's to transfer your wealth and your property, essentially, to a small number of companies. They want to change the world by not only making us give up our sanity and our water and our electricity, but also to take away the jobs that millions of Americans rely on by replacing them with AI.
So, Andrew, you're here for AI. I'm here for human beings and for God. Andrew said, and I'm monitoring the people who are coming in a certain type of energy and spirit, right? The most profound statement I heard is that the only thing that is consistent is inconsistencies. AI will not slow down or stop. There will be some hiccups, but it will roll on. So the only thing that is consistent is change. I'm not sure who said that, but the only thing that is consistent in the whole entire universe is change. You're here to represent technology and AI and computers. I'm here to represent humanity and God. And I'm happy to have you.
And this is what it's like living with a data center on your block. And this is what it's like living with a data center on your block inside of your house with all of the doors and windows closed. Sometimes they flood your neighborhoods and do nothing about it.
House was pretty much surrounded by water.
Record levels of flooding coming out of this site.
But most of the times they do this to the neighborhood water supply.
Water pressure in the kitchen. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet.
Yeah. And this is what's in all the pipes.
And if you're like, Ed, this would never happen where I live because my neighborhood would never allow this to happen. Well, in Gilroy, California, Amazon is building a 60-acre, that's 60-acre data center. And because they're building it in an industrial area, just far enough outside of the closest residential area, they didn't have to consult any of the residents.
They say they know at this point they probably can't stop this data center.
And if you're like, Ed, if they're building it just far enough outside of the reach of residential areas, then it should be fine, right? Nope, because they're illegally and secretly building power plants inside of these data centers.
This is what it looks like in a standard drone shot, but watch what happens when I switch to thermal. Wow.
Those smokestacks that you see, they're literally built to disperse pollutants into the area. That's why even though you don't actively see smoke coming out of those smokestacks, under heat, you will see that they are actively burning pollutants into the air. And it's crazy that Lee Zeldin, the current head of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, when he took over office last year, stated that he was boosting AI, the Environmental Protection Agency head, which has not only allowed this data center, but because these data centers require so much energy to operate, even Elon Musk's ex-AI data center in Memphis, Tennessee, was found that they were illegally generating extra electricity. Surprise, because they had secretly built an illegal power plant inside of their data center. See those smokestacks with all of those smoke coming out of it? And it's because the EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin has stated that he will not set national environmental standards for AI data centers, even though the EPA's own website clearly states that those emissions have serious health and environmental impacts. And again, on the EPA's website, that are not limited to the area immediately adjacent to the plant, but because air pollution can travel over long distances, the impacts of power plant emissions can be felt locally as well as many miles away, meaning that the air quality in a community can be impacted by far distant sources as well as those site near a community. And because I don't think that the millions of Americans across tens of thousands of neighborhoods across the country should have to fight individual battles to keep these data centers out in order to keep their property values from plummeting and their families' health from plummeting, I created this petition. You can find it right here, demanding that.
And I said to Andrew, somebody in the chat room just said Andrew might be Chat GPT or whatever. It might be, or it might be a human. But I'm here for the earth as well. I'm here for human beings. I'm here on behalf of God, and I'm here for the earth as well. EMF fields interfere with the magnetic maps bees use for navigation, causing disorientation and in some cases a total loss of foragers returning to the colony. Farmers are reporting that data centers are killing their bees. Data centers produce artificial EMF fields that researchers say disrupt the magnetic navigation systems bees have relied on for millions of years. Studies document reductions in colony size, decreased breeding efficiency, and distress signals consistent with bees sensing imminent danger. One farmer claims he hasn't seen a single bee since a data center was built. And I'm just curious, you know, for all of us, but in particular, the people who are promoting this, who stand by this, did you vote for this? Did any of us vote for Waymo cars? Did any of us vote for data centers? No, you're just riding the wave. AI, you can sit back and watch. I mean, AI, Freudian slip. Andrew, you can sit back and watch because class is in session. I already made my point to you and what I have to say. So you can either tune in or tune out. Now, you hear me sitting here presenting information about wildlife and what is actually happening and the detrimental impact it could be having on our planet. And you're okay with that. That's on you. Good luck to your family and your children and your grandchildren. Breaking, AI data centers are under construction right above the U.S. largest underground water reserve for easy access to clean water. Again, I feel like people who are heavy proponents of AI, this actually should be your job. I shouldn't have to sit here and talk for an hour and a half or 2 hours and bring all of the pros and the cons, or the cons to the table because everybody's only talking about the cons. I feel like this should be your job. The Snake River Plain Aquifer covers roughly 10,800 square miles. They will be draining millions of gallons of fresh water to cool the AI centers. Big tech is putting big business in front of human needs, and the politicians are selling us out to these corporations. You literally have mayors around the U.S. telling people not to take showers while there is an AI center 5 miles down the road that uses upward of 35 million gallons of water a week. Many states are also experiencing severe droughts as we speak. Texas, Arizona, Colorado, Georgia, Utah, New Mexico, Virginia. I remember watching this documentary, Blue Gold Water Water Wars, almost 20 years ago, and they were saying that future wars will be fought over fresh water. The way this whole thing is heading is very unsettling. Now let's go back to the noise. You heard the noise, right? You guys heard the noise in the video that the guy played, right? Now, I have mentioned in a previous video that somewhere in California, this lady found these speakers that were playing this white noise, right? And shout out to, who was that? I think it was Danny, one of the members who sent me the video for this. Where is it? Let me see. Okay, here it is. Mount Shasta is where it was. So check this out.
Mystery in the Mount Shasta area has captured millions of views online, but it's now largely solved. Action News Now reporter Tamaya Horvath tells us more.
Where is that coming from? This is straight apocalyptic.
What started as a horseback ride near Highway 97 just northeast of Weed turned into an internet mystery. Mount Shasta resident Carrie Ann Schnurr discovered about 200 solar-powered speakers hidden across a hillside on private property near public land.
This is so Mount Shasta.
After her videos went viral, Schnurr used her local connections to track down the property owner.
His purpose was for elevating consciousness, like trying to affect the universe, you know, with his positive messages. Yeah, he's just very passionate about veganism and world peace, and some people believe that kind of thing works. And to a certain degree, I actually do too, but I think it needs to come from a human, energetic place. I don't think digital devices really tap into that.
Schnurr says the owner also asked her not to reveal his identity or the exact location of the speakers. Somewhere beyond these hills is where Carrie Ann Schnurr says she stumbled across the 200 solar-powered speakers. But as the story spread online, so did the speculations. Some social media users claimed the speakers were part of a government program or that Schnurr had been paid to stay quiet. Claims she says are completely false.
So it wasn't just my accounts that I had posted them on. It was everybody else screen grabbing and downloading and reposting. And then the misinformation that happened was insane. Thousands of speakers, you know, they're in danger for their lives. I'm like, please.
Together, the hundreds of speakers blend into what sounds like white noise, but up close, Schnurr says each one plays a separate message about peace, compassion, or veganism.
Obey and love God Almighty, the Most High.
In Siskiyou County, Tamaya Horvath, Action News Now.
Schnurr says that while the mystery has been solved for her, she hopes keeping the location private will prevent others from trespassing and disturbing the property owner.
So one thing I know for sure after being heavily censored for 2 years is that anything that is being talked about or given a spotlight in the mainstream media has an agenda. There is an intention behind it. And I saw this video when it started to kind of start trending. And I had mentioned to you guys in a previous video that I was hearing at a certain point while I was laying down going to sleep. I didn't have TV or anything on. And I was hearing like a white noise in my ears. And I'm going to talk about the voice to skull technology in just a second, especially for those of you proponents of AI. Again, this is the other side. Welcome to the Zaza Ali Show. I was hearing this white noise, and when I pressed my hand up against my ear to see if it was internal or if it was external, it sounded like it was actually in my mind, right? And so this situation, I think this is one of those things that they do to normalize people getting used to this very strong bandwidth of sound and this ongoing noise and white noise and this staticky sound in the background. They're trying to normalize it, right? She said this guy is about healing the world and veganism and all of these things. If he really understands the science of frequency and how the energy works, then he knows how useless this is, especially if it's not in a direct vicinity of people. Just perched on a mountainside, that frequency and that bandwidth is only going to be limited in terms of how far it's going to reach, right? And so here I am down in the city part of LA, and I live in an apartment, so I'm surrounded by people with Wi-Fi routers. There's cell towers within a very short proximity of me. All of these things are contributing to what we call this white noise. And I think it's very dangerous and detrimental to human beings. I played the video before about what noise.
She's pathetic. Look at all this.
What the heck? They're parking in the street.
Look at all these. It's just crazy. Look at all these Waymos.
Because they won't.
Look at this. Look how ridiculous this is, guys. Look, how are people supposed to get out? Look at all these people in their car. They don't even know how to get out. Look at. They're not going anywhere for a long time. Look at this. They're not going anywhere for a long time, baby.
Yeah, nobody's driving no car. Everybody's driving cars. Then nobody's driving.
The little voice in the background is so sweet. There's hundreds of these videos all over the internet where they are showing these Waymos, and there's a suburban neighborhood in Atlanta where they literally drive around in circles around people's houses until they get a call, right? Let me see where I want to go with this now. Let me just drop a couple of things on you guys that I can't really go into detail because of I don't want to get my page censored. I don't want to get my page shut down. But this is one of those things that is absolutely 100% governed by AI. And let me just read it. Shout out to everybody who was just tuning in. Please make sure you guys like this video. Somebody in the chat room said that it might be binaural beats, waves underneath it. I mean, it's possible, but Mount Shasta, which is it's not a densely populated area, is the intention to affect the natural frequency of the planet, which is 7.63 or 7.83 hertz. I mean, are you trying to contribute to the frequency of the planet? I don't know. I think that there's something else behind that is not what this lady portrayed it to be, or this guy, this private landowner. I don't think that's what it is at all. I think there's something nefarious around that. And at the same time that is trending, we're seeing videos where people all over the country are complaining about this very loud noise, this dense frequency that's coming from these data centers. So I think there's something else to that. But this is patent number 060606, publication date 3/26 of 2020. This is a cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Human body activity associated with a task provided to a user may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. A server may provide a task to a device of a user which is communicatively coupled to the server. A sensor coupled to or comprised in the device of the user may sense body activity of the user. Body activity data may be generated based on the sensed body activity of the user. The cryptocurrency system communication coupled to the device of the user may verify if the body activity data satisfies one or more conditions set by the crypto system and award cryptocurrency to the user whose body data is verified. So this is a biometric system. This is talking about monitoring what's happening in your internal body and using that as a means to allow or disallow, or just the way that the utilities would operate in order for you to use the cryptocurrency, the crypto system or cryptocurrency. Now, people listening to this might think that's not a big deal. I don't think that my audience would be listening to this and thinking that's not a big deal. That is a very big deal, especially when you understand the technology that has been inserted into 70% of the world's population. And this is absolutely 1000% a two-way transmission. And this is absolutely 1000% governed by AI. And this is just me kind of putting this out there. Again, I can't really go into full detail about this, but there's one more thing here that I want to add in terms of this particular patents. that we can look at to see the bigger picture, because I'm a big picture person. I need you guys to remember that. I'm not just talking about the things that everybody else is talking about. I'm looking at the bigger picture and the impact on society, the impact on the planet. Nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields from monitors. This is U.S. Patent 6506148B2. Psychological effects have been observed in a human subject in response to simulation of the skin with weak electromagnetic fields that are pulsed with certain frequencies near half hertz or 2.4 hertz, such as to excite a sensory resonance. Many computer monitors and TV tubes, when displaying pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields of sufficient amplitudes to cause such excitation. It is thereby possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. For the latter, the image pulsing may be embedded in the program material, or it may be overlaid by modulating a video stream, either as an RF signal or as a video signal. The image displayed on a computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. For certain monitors, pulsed electromagnetic fields capable of exciting sensory resonances in nearby subjects may be generated even as the displayed images are pulsed with subliminal intensity. This patent was applied for in June of 2001. This is the part of technology that the people who are cheering for and supporting without any sort of conscious or any sort of looking at the bigger picture. This is the other side of the agenda that's not being talked about. And I wonder if this has anything to do with the human activity that we're seeing, the people that we're seeing wigging out in chaos, all these teen takeovers. In the 4th of July, they had all across the country, they had hundreds and thousands of teenagers showing up and shit getting rowdy. And maybe it is just bored teenagers that are just showing up and just, they drinking a little bit and things turn up. Or maybe there is an algorithm that's being promoted and there is a frequency that's being beamed. Now, I just showed you the proof that they can beam frequencies through monitors, not just TVs, but tablets, phones. They can beam a frequency and affect your nervous system and your electromagnetic system. More, just bear with me here. I'm going to come back to that crypto thing because I want to talk about Mr. Donald Trump, but staying on the point about the mind control aspect.
Don't believe that. Oh, you can't control me. I have my own free will. There's no way you can get to my soul. Well, sorry, that's not true. So these nanoparticles are activated under certain magnetic frequency. And
wait, he said, this is the language that will get this video flagged. So it is what it is. If I have to cut some of this out, if you guys watch this later and it's incongruent or it seems like certain things are missing, it's because it might get flagged or certain videos might get flagged. Make sure you guys like this video. Those of you guys who are just tuning in, if you value and appreciate this content, please subscribe to my channel. All cash apps, all super stickers, all love and reciprocity is definitely welcome and appreciated. So what he said is the nanotech, right? Which we know is being sprayed in our skies. And there's several other ways that that is being implemented into the human body, particularly by way of needles, as well as the face coverings that are the medical grade, as well as the swabs that they placed into billions of people's noses in 2020. And some people are still lining up for that shit. Let me just bring my face up so you guys can see me. Please stop letting those people put those swabs in your nose. There's something else happening that's more than what meets the eye. Please stop going and getting tested for when you have flu symptoms or when you have regular symptoms. Take some elderberry, get your black seed oil game up, get your oil of oregano game up. There is the nanoparticles that he's talking about is one aspect of this, but the technology gets activated, right? So again, we're talking about this two-way transmission. I did a Kingdom Within web series in 2021. I did a 7-hour presentation. I put it up on my website for free. It's still there, but I have to, because I took it down off my main page because I was trying to, get uncensored. I did a 7-hour lecture presentation. I split it up into 3 videos. I put it up on my website for free. And I gave all of the information and data in terms of those swabs, in terms of those medical grade covers, in terms of what was in those needles. It's all relative, because this technology that he's talking about and that I've been talking about for a long time now is all governed through AI. And when I say govern, let me just give this context. When I say govern, I mean, let me just let this play and then I'll finish.
Will alter the brain patterns and pathways. Recently, my school came out, Harvard came out with what you see here on the right slide is a magnified view of a needle that's injected into the brain and puts the scaffolding over the brain, and then it's read that way at a much finer resolution. So let's talk about a little bit about deciphering the audio and visual cortex. So researchers at the University of California, Berkeley have invented a brain decoder device that's able to work out what you're thinking based on neural activity inside of the brain. Now they use mostly what's called functional MRIs. But you could use any of these technologies that I talked about. If you're reading text in a newspaper or book, you hear a voice in your own head. Usually, most people are reading kind of aloud in their own head. Well, they can read that, decipher the words that you were thinking to yourself. So there's another one, University of LA, maybe Stanford University. They are decoding visual images. So they train the person under a functional MRI, that's the standard technique, to look at images, and then they record them, and then they ask the person to imagine the object. It can also just be imaginary, and the computer will decipher the brain code, and so you're looking at a hammer, you're looking at a saw, that's a house, that's a cat. So the technology in the civilian sector is coming along quite quickly. Somebody apparently from NASA leaked this as something they were working on. And telepathy, electronic two-way communications. Well, we have that now. And that's very scary if you never experienced it. Making humanity think an alien invasion is about to occur at every major city. Well, we have holograms in the sky. I described that technology. And, they talk about other things that might make this come about. But all I am saying is beware. Most people don't.
Pause that. I have had clients that I have worked with directly who have been electronically harassed and stalked, who hear voices in their head, who think that people are following them, who think that the government is out to get them. And I'm only saying think that, because I'm conveying it from their third party experience or second party experience. But I have had about 5 over a 5-year period, 5 people who were being gang stalked and who were being electronically harassed, who were, taking notes and writing journals every single day of things that were happening to them that they could not explain, right? Shout out to everybody just now tuning in. Please like this video. I let everybody know at the beginning of the video, today only till midnight Pacific Standard Time, I'm doing a $50 one-on-one consultation special. My normal rate is $150. So if you'd like to talk to me, get my perspective, vantage point about anything, that's Cash App only. I'm also taking all love and reciprocity in the form of super chats, etc. And then you can also like this video and subscribe if you're not subscribed to my content so far. Hotspot said, I'm trying to set up a live with Dr. Ma'at and Leonard Horowitz about the jabby jab. That's wonderful. Dark Side of the Moon Headquarters AI. This is why you can be thinking something and see an ad for it a few minutes later. Facts. Love and peace, Zaza. Peace and love, Brian. Very happy to see you. Insane what they're trying to do with all of this. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of this conversation, just so we can be on our toes and have situational awareness. They're designing it because they don't want us to rule over them, specifically Black people. But the righteous Black people are not supposed to rule over anybody. We're supposed to rule ourselves. And that's the difference between a system of racism, white supremacy, a system of patriarchy, and a system of God. It was never supposed to be anyone ruling over anyone. I self-law and master, I self-lord and master was always the original blueprint, the original coding. Totally different mindset than the way this world is operating right now. Ex-FBI agent claims voice to skull tech could be behind string of missing scientists. The body of another missing scientist has been discovered in New Mexico, with a hiker finding the skeletal remains of Los Alamos National Laboratory staffer Melissa Cassius, prompting one former FBI agent to suggest that voice-to-skull tech could be in play. Speaking to Brian Enton on his YouTube channel, an ex-FBI agent, Ben Hansen, discussed the possible use of energy weapons amid mysteries surrounding the disappearance or death of over a dozen scientists, with many associated with extraterrestrial or space-related research. He began to outline the likely use of infrasound weapons to induce feelings of paranoia and anxiety within targeted individuals, but this could also extend to the aforementioned voice-to-skull technology too. It is my understanding that there were patents, or there actually are papers where they were able to achieve putting a word or a couple of words into someone's mind by directing that. So the person might think that those words are their own, right? They're hearing it. So you're kind of experiencing schizophrenia. And if you're not able to tell what words are yours or somebody else's, you can see how that would be concerning and would be a problem. Okay. And this is also, when I've talked about mind control in America, what happened in 2020 and how they had all the people, most of the people sitting around being hypnotized by Fox News and CNBC and MSNBC, and they were all on the same frequency. Yeah, there was a spell of fear being cast. And that spell of frequency lasted long enough and maintained long enough so that people lined up at their doctors and in hospitals in order to get that poison put into their bodies. So this is not a game, what I'm talking about. None of this is a game. That's like when I get a little feisty with people in the comments, like, bruh, there's so much shit the average person doesn't understand that's going on in the background. And everybody doesn't need to know all of this. Don't get me wrong. But I think you guys should support the people among us that do. I feel like if you have, the spook that sat by the door type vibes. I've been the spook that sat by the door for 15 years now. Imagine if my people actually funded a laboratory for me, where I could go in and actually do the real scientific data and research to navigate and to come up with the solutions to a lot of these problems. But a girl can dream, can't she?
Said every day in 2026, and talk about a lot of crazy stuff.
Our body cameras are simply lenses, two lenses attached to your vest, attached to the smartphone that you're wearing, and the camera's always on. You don't turn it on and off. And by the way you turn it on, you can't turn it on. I'm going to the bathroom. Oracle, I need 2 minutes to take a bathroom break, and we'll turn it off. The truth is, we don't really turn it off. What we do.
So he's talking about watching and monitoring people as they work. And if you've seen the video, there's contents there's videos in China, for instance, where AI and facial data recognition and cameras that are set up in everyday businesses are monitoring people to make sure that they are getting the full usage of their time. So if you're on the clock for 8 hours, you know how when you work a job, you can probably do 6 full hours and then like half-ass it for 2 hours, right? Or talk to the person in the cubicle next to you, or take hella bathroom breaks, or whatever. Like, nah, they're using this technology to make sure that if you are on the clock for 8 hours, that you work every single second of those 8 hours. What he's saying is that once you go to the bathroom, the technology is supposed to get turned off, right? We're not supposed to be observing you in private settings, but he's also telling you that they do.
Is we record it so no one can see it, but no one can get into that recording without a court order. We won't listen in unless there's a court order. But it's interesting. But we transmit the video back to headquarters. So headquarters and AI is constantly monitoring the video. The police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. If we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. It's not people that are looking at those cameras, it's AI that's looking at the camera. And if there's a problem.
He said, he used the word unimpeachable. He said it's unimpeachable, meaning there's no oversight. And he also said that it's not people who are watching it. So you don't need to be worried if AI is on when you go to the bathroom, if there's a camera on when you go to the bathroom. It's not going to be some weird dude that's going to be watching it. It's actually going to be AI. So nothing to worry about, right?
Exactly how it works. It was designed by people. No, it wasn't. What we did was we designed the learning algorithm. That's a bit like designing the principle of evolution. But when this learning algorithm then interacts with data, it produces complicated neural networks that are good at doing things, but we don't really understand exactly how they do those things. What do you mean we?
So this guy, Hilton, his point is that humans did not design the neural networks that power modern AI in any meaningful sense. What researchers actually designed was the learning algorithm, the set of rules that governs how a system updates itself when exposed to data. What emerges from that process is something far more complex than anything a human deliberately constructed. He compares this to evolution. Humans did not design the eye or the brain. They simply understand that the principle of natural selection. They simply understand the principle of natural selection that produced them. In the same way, AI researchers understand the training process, but not the billions of internal parameters and representations that result from it, which is precisely what makes interpretability and safety so challenging. And again, this is not to make anybody afraid of anything. We are children of the Most High God. Why will we be afraid of computers? What we do need to have is situational awareness. What we have been doing is allowing too much evil and wicked and weird shit to happen on our planet and go unchecked. And so now the ramifications of that are catching up to us. Determining how much online content is real depends on whether you are looking at traffic or published text. But experts estimate that over half of internet traffic and the majority of new written articles are generated by automated bots and artificial intelligence rather than humans. Now, mind you, are you guys seeing the videos where they're going out in the public and having, they're writing, a statement with some like semi-difficult words and asking regular random people, all races, all ages, to read this. And it seems like 70 to 80% of the people cannot actually read these simple, a little complex, but simple statements. And some people might say, oh, well, that's contrived, it's not real. But if you're out operating in the world and you're paying attention to the average person's attention span in real time, then you understand they are intentionally edifying artificial intelligence and how powerful and how intelligent and how undefeatable it is. And then they're also lowering the brain capacity, the thinking capacity, and the attention span of the average person. So these things are happening at the same time. I had this other video. Let me see. Peace to everybody just now tapping in. Make sure you guys like this video, please. I've already talked about, we've kind of touched bases on the data centers, the data center noise, the impact on the natural resources of the planet. China now placing their AI servers in the ocean. And you notice check the sacred geometry out in terms of the placement of these servers in the ocean. Right there. See that, right? China's world's first fully operational underwater AI data center located off the coast near Shanghai. Now, remember in the other video that I played, let me just bring myself back up here. The other video that I played that showed this very loud, irritating, frustrating sound that's coming from these data centers. Imagine that frequency underwater and the potential of what it can do to the fish, to the plant life, to the whole entire ecosystem of the ocean. Around 2,000 servers are said to be enclosed in sealed submarine-grade steel modules placed about 35 meters below the ocean surface in Shanghai waters. Instead of conventional cooling systems, the setup uses seawater for passive temperature control, with claims of up to 90% reduction in cooling energy use. The facility is also described as being powered by offshore wind energy, with an estimated cost of $226 million and a launch timeline around June 2025, followed by a move into full commercial operation shortly after. It is claimed to handle over 7,000 AI queries per second, linked to systems associated with DeepSeek, running compute workloads directly underwater. Some reports also note that similar underwater data center experiments in the United States were discontinued in 2024. I wonder why. Remember when we were having all of those mass bird die-offs? We remember when all of the whales were being beached, right? Y'all know I've been reporting on this stuff for a long time now. So when people say, oh, it's like the fact that people don't seem to care about this and the impact that it's having on our planet, and somebody in the comments reference, Black people coming back into rulership, we're never going to be qualified to be rulers on this planet again until we, number one, rule ourselves, but number two, we actually care about this planet. Wildlife, nature, not just agriculture. We talk a lot about food, and obviously 100%, like, yes, farming, yes, 1,000%. But how many of us are actively in roles and in careers and in industries that protect the earth? It's actually our job. So you see it was discontinued in the United States. The idea reflects a broader push toward extreme environment infrastructure to expand AI capacity and efficiency. Did you vote on this? Did any of us vote on this? Did they call you and do a survey and ask you what you think about Waymo cars and ask you what you think about putting data centers underwater and ask you what you think about taking the fresh water from different places around our country and using it for these data centers, whether it's AI or whether it's just regular computer systems? I don't care. The question still has to be asked. And this is the real question. Why don't you, meaning whom it may concern, has anybody asked AI how to run AI without water? Since it's so damn smart, has anybody asked ChatGPT how to run AI without water, without data centers that take such a toll on the ecosystem of our planet? Has anybody asked AI how to run AI without internet and power? Are people thinking about how dangerous it could be without technology and our dependency on technology without internet and power? Anybody in the chat room know how to run their computers or how to use their cryptocurrency or their wallet, their digital wallets without without power or internet? Does anybody in the chat room know? And are people in the artificial intelligence world actually talking about that? I'd love to know. Thank you, words. Word sound is power. Thank you. And that actually goes to, we talked about the white noise before, right? In the video, somebody was talking about binaural beats. The lady in the video was talking about how the frequency, this guy, this private owner is allegedly doing this in order to sort of increase the frequency in human beings and whatnot. And so a lot of this, even with what I just showed in the ocean, in these data centers being placed underwater, that is a very strong frequency and electromagnetic energy that's being pulsated in the earth. Could it affect the rhythm of the earth, the heartbeat of the earth, the 7.83 hertz, I think it is, frequency? Of course. I'm just tapping in with you guys in the chat room real quick so I don't get too far behind. And I'm trying to present this stuff in order. Let's do this. Flock cameras. Another system that is being governed and operated through artificial intelligence.
Allegedly using police databases to obtain information about women they encounter in public.
Members are using our databases as their own way to meet women. Seeing a woman at a coffee shop, coming out of a gym, driving next to them, getting their license plates and running them on the system.
The cameras take a photo of every car that passes, stamped with the precise time and location. All of that data is saved in a database for 30 days, allowing the government to go back in time to see where your car was and when. No warrant required, whether you're suspected of a crime or not.
I watched a woman jogging alone on a forest trail.
It is extremely dangerous. We are not safe.
Chrisana Elzer lives just yards from the same flock camera used to falsely accuse her of a crime.
It's hard to drive that way and then look up and see it pointed right at you.
Survivors, women, are currently not safe in this system.
This issue remains present. Silence or minimization only allows the behavior to continue.
In that town, you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out without us knowing.
Chrisana Elzer learned the power of flock firsthand.
You were in town from 11:52 until 12:09 exactly. Like I said, nothing gets in or out of the town without us knowing.
When a Colorado police officer showed up at her door holding flock snapshots of her truck.
And here's when you left at 12:09. That's when you left town.
To get.
No, to stop at Ridge Trail.
Wait a minute.
And take a package. Well, there's no shushing. I don't need to be.
I need to know where this is.
The first thing he pulled out on the body cam is that flock picture, the clear photograph of your car.
But here's your vehicle in the neighborhood many, many times, apparently casing houses, because you just can't drive through for work or visit other businesses. You can only be casing houses.
It is her. It is 100%. It is locked in. There is. Come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%. It is certain. It is on video. You're obviously welcome to go to court.
Chrisana was charged with stealing a package, but it wasn't her. The porch pirate was somebody else. Multiple times you tried to show him your video evidence. He didn't want to see it.
Even when I called him back, he said, that's not my job.
You looked at a time of a crime. You saw my vehicle entering in the flock.
No, what I did was, I did an investigation.
You called my wife a liar. You said this is fact.
I have video evidence. I don't know what you want me to say.
The charges were dropped after Krisanna spent weeks trying to get the police chief to look at her evidence. Time-stamped video from her truck and a neighbor's doorbell camera showing she wasn't at the scene of the crime. What does it say about where we are that you feel you have to have more cameras than the police have in order to make sure you can...
It sounds like it flipped the script to you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent.
Without a flock camera, that detective would not have been at her door. By his own admission, he pulled out the flock picture of her car. Do you want to apologize to Krisanna Elzer for what happened to her?
For the police misusing the tools? I don't think that I have to apologize.
He wasn't charged with a crime. He wasn't, other than being reprimanded for his attitude.
Sure. No, but I would tell you that, like, should I apologize for somebody misusing a tool? I don't think so.
Flock Safety Chief Communications Officer Josh Thomas. Who's watching the watchers in these cases?
Well, the city council. The city owns the data, so city council.
No, AI is watching the watchers.
So would have the appropriate responsibility in that case. Our point of view has always been that it is not Flock's job to police the way police do their work.
Improve yourself.
You know something that I know for sure after doing what I do for so long and trying to warn people about so many different things in so many different instances, people really do not care until it affects them. It's not an issue until it affects you. ChatGPT is wonderful until your child unalives him or herself. And we do know that that's something that's happening, right? We do understand that there have been a consistent number of young people unaliving themselves because they were persuaded by ChatGPT, right? We do know that there have been a string of people using AI to call someone and tell them that a family member has been kidnapped or something, terrible has happened, and deposit this money or send this money here, and, taking advantage of people or lying to people or just playing games with people using this technology, right? We do know that, right? People don't care until it affects them. And then when it affects them, they want everybody to rally around them. I just find that so fascinating. It's one of the reasons why humanity is under divine judgment now. This dude, there's no music in this. Let me turn the sound down as he plays this. So this is a guy who goes around and basically, does what he needs to do in order to cover these cameras, right? And there's a bunch of different ways. There's a lot of people say you can take the green lasers and point them at them and that will break the lens and things like that. But he's doing his part to navigate this system and this situation. What I want to show here is this map. He's going to show it again after we see him going and doing what he does. He's going to show a map that I want to highlight in terms of how many of these cameras are already active in the United States. So look at this map. And there was another video, I didn't upload it, but it was a lady in a rural town, because a lot of people think this is just happening in major cities, right? This is not something that's affecting rural towns. Like, no, if you look at this map, especially in the middle of the country, especially in Texas, which a lot of people, Republican states, think that this is not affecting Republican states. Like, stop it. This is a map of these cameras that are already live and active. Look at California is highlighted. New York is absolutely highlighted. Florida is absolutely highlighted. All of the major cities are covered in these cameras already. I'm just saying, might be something we might want to consider and think about. I did that one already. Let me see where I want to go with this now. Okay. I'm going to round this off in the right way, y'all, because none of this scares me. You know what I mean? This is what I came here for. So people be thinking when I'm talking about these things, like I'm pushing fear or like, nah, I'm here to, God gave me the mind that I have to help humanity figure this out and navigate our way around this. Remember, okay, let me minimize this real quick. So remember during the program that was Black Lives Matter in 2020, which was absolutely a program. And it kicked off a lot of things that kicked off a lot of other things. But one of the things that was trending at that time was that they were talking about Black extremists, right? And how they were going to start, using the internet to earmark and sort of pay attention to quote unquote Black extremists. Then you fast forward during the pandemic when people like myself were doing what I did, we got earmarked and stamped as, extremists as well, anti whatever extremists, right? Then you fast forward now, we have the anti-government aspect, right? Extremists, right? These people, they have a file in a system, one of those data servers, right? Not a paper file. This is all stuff, the data that AI is putting together and keeping track of. So we have the anti-government element. Then we have the small hats, and speaking out against anything as it pertains to them. Yeah, they're earmarking you. If you like content, if you save content, if you promote certain content that is speaking out or up against them, yeah, they have your name in a file. And now we have AI extremists, where people who are actively online talking about conversations such as this, they are paying attention and keeping track. This is a war for the control of consciousness. This is a war for the control of consciousness. They want you to believe that this system, this technology is a god. They want you to believe that we are living in a scarcity, lack-based environment where our natural resources eventually are going to get stripped away from us, right? They want you to believe that you have to submit to technology and the infrastructure that they're building in order to still be powerful, in order to still move around the planet, in order to do anything. Like the video with will.i.am that we showed earlier, when he was like, the people who have Real a Nation need to imagine on a new level. No, we don't. All we need to do is decide what desires we have, what things we want to experience, what we want to make manifest, and just believe in that shit until it manifests. Peace and love, everybody. Thank you to everybody who is just now coming in. Please make sure you like this video. I'm very happy to have all of you beautiful people here. I'm just kind of covering all bases, the other side of AI, because there is so much, if you want to get the great parts, the good things, all of the wonderful things it can do. Obviously, there is so much. You probably saw an ad when you tuned into this video, if they're still allowing ads to run on this video. That was promoting AI or some system or somebody who's doing a workshop. And I feel like there is an extreme void and deficit of people talking about the full picture. So that's what this video is about. I'm not anti-AI. AI is being run. AI is a part of StreamYard, which is a system that I use and pay for. And mind you, they raised the price on the price that I have by like $17 about a year ago. And the reason was, we have all these wonderful new AI technologies. This does that. Well, why are you raising the cost if you're using AI? First of all, I thought that was to reduce costs. But then also, once you get to the nitty gritty of how the system works, yeah, you got to pay and upgrade in order to use a lot of the things that they're touting as this is the reason why we're charging you more. And I've seen that in all of the websites and the vendors that I use in terms of running my business. Every single one of them in the last 2 years has gone up significantly with the pricing, but the added value is not there. There's in certain elements it's there, but the sharp increase in the value, it doesn't make sense. New study reveals MAGA bots are targeting Black comment sections. Black digital spaces are increasingly being disrupted by coordinated AI-driven bot networks that target the comment sections of Black influencers and cultural commentators. Investigations suggest that these are not random spam accounts, but organized systems designed to simulate political consensus, manipulate engagement metrics, and distort the authenticity of online community discourse. Disinformation experts emphasize that the most effective response is also the most counterintuitive. Do not engage. These systems depend on attention, amplification, and reaction to achieve their impact. As platforms continue to reduce moderation capacity, the strategic priority for creators becomes protecting attention and preserving community integrity, recognizing a synthetic activity for what it is and refusing to feed it. Now, here's the caveat. These bots are not just on Black creator content and Black-based websites. They're also on MAGA sites. They're also on Latino sites. Every segment of the human population online, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of these places that are sort of moderated through the algorithm, they all have bots. So there's bots that are in the racist redneck Facebook groups that are kicking up dust and pretending to be a Black person. That's, you know what I mean? That's countering the position that they're holding. This is a war for the control of consciousness. This is the movie Divergent happening right in front of us, right? And all it is a magnet or a magnified version or representation of human consciousness. There is this chat, hold on, this comment that I had saved that I had pulled up here. The top 10 states with flock cameras, pardon me, I meant to show this before. California has 18,378 cameras, which is 46.5 per 100,000 people. Texas, 13,028 cameras. Florida, 7,051 cameras. Georgia, 7,003 cameras. Ohio, 6,582 cameras. Illinois, 6,307 cameras. Indiana, 3,616 cameras. Michigan, 3,339 cameras. Tennessee, 3,048 cameras. New York, 3,024 cameras as of May 2026. And remember the movie Minority Report. If you haven't seen that movie, you should definitely check it out. This comment, which I really agree with on Instagram, and this is coming back to the MAGA bots and the whole them trying to keep the race-based dichotomy, because it's a reason why they're intentionally doing this, right? They could be anywhere. If you're programming a bot or you are sending that type of technology in any particular direction, why are you trying to stimulate this ongoing race dichotomy? Why are you sending white, MAGA supporters in Black comments? Why are you sending, bots in their comments trying to keep this thing, matriculating? Because they want to keep you locked into the race-based consciousness, because that's how they control you. The portals they are opening are human desire voids for instantaneous gratification. AI mirrors the ego, and the ego is never satiated. So it's literally a black hole swallowing up attention of time and spirit. The ego is never satiated, and neither is Satan. Neither is the devil, neither is demonic energy, neither is low vibrational frequency and low vibrational energy. It's always coming back to collect and to collect and to collect, right? The portals they are opening are human desire voids for instant gratification. AI mirrors the ego, and the ego is never satisfied, satiated. So it's literally a black hole swallowing up attention and time and spirit. This is why the bots are not coming into your chat and trying to bring a peaceful energy. This is why the bots don't come into these conversations and try to spread love. If you can program a bot or a large consensus of bots to do anything, why are you creating it to kick up dust? Because they want you to stay locked in whatever that frequency is. Bots make me money in trading stocks years ago. Thank you, bots. And thank you for that comment, because you cannot comment anymore. Just tapping in with the chat room. I hope you guys don't expect me to be able to focus on what I'm trying to present here in the chat at the same time. It's kind of hard to do. I saw one comment that could potentially be a bot, which is gone now. And I also responded to another bot, somebody earlier that was trying to kick up dust. So let me see.
Inside of a nondescript building inside of LA, A-list actors are creeping into this building to get their face, their body, and their voice scanned for what takes about 3 hours. And if you saw the guest list, you probably think it was like the back door of Chateau Marmont on Oscar night. Now, it's actually called the CAA Vault, and why it exists tells you exactly where the entertainment economy is going. Because CAA, one of the most powerful agencies in the world, they're building high-fidelity digital clones of all their clients. Again, the rig will be able to scan the actor's face, their body, their voice, every range of their emotion. And most critically, the talent actually will own this clone. It'll sit in a vault like a bank asset. No one's gonna be able to touch it without their permission. Now, look, I spent years at CAA and inside this entertainment world, and I'll tell you one thing, an agency building an encrypted data vault is not normal. So why would CAA do this? The reason is because CAA's whole business is about representing intellectual property. And the definition of this IP has been changing now. Like for 100 years, agents just represented the person, their time, their performance, their image in the physical world. But in an AI world, the client's most valuable asset is actually just their likeness. A face and a voice that could be generated, de-aged, translated into 40 languages, dropped into a commercial overnight. Like in entertainment, there's always these contracts that claim your likeness throughout the universe and into perpetuity. I guess that clause actually is starting to mean something now. So CA is clearly expanding from representing the physical person to also representing the digital person. It's the same job, protect and monetize the client. It's now just extended into a future where they're also existing as data. And remember, they're not alone. Hollywood is starting to wake up to this AI future. Remember we talked about how Ben Affleck sold his AI company to Netflix for like $600 million. And just last week, I was talking to a Hollywood legend who's now experimenting with AI-driven microdramas, testing story ideas in real time before they go to full production. That's the talent that's starting to lean in while the rest of Hollywood is still defending the old ways. Here's the reality. In this AI future, your personal brand doesn't fade away. It actually compounds. And what's being built right now is the infrastructure to be able to protect it and monetize it ethically. Gotta give credit to my old shop CAA for seeing this before a lot of other people in Hollywood. Because the question that every agency, talent, creator, and brand should be asking is, who's guarding my digital self? And this is starting to...
There's a lot of people here. I welcome all of you guys. Please like this video so you can help me stay active in the algorithm. I'm talking about a lot of things that might actually get this video either taken down or demonetized. So hopefully you guys can reciprocate my time and my energy and support what I actually do, because I'm probably not going to make any money off this video. But like I said, I'm bringing this to the table in order to help us to see the bigger picture here. Across almost every industry, digital twins are used to drive efficacy and safety. So wait a minute. I have another, hold on. I think I have another, I might have saved it under the wrong file. Hang on. Un momento, por favor. Because the digital twin is, did I do that already? Let's see, I did that. Maybe it was a video, let me see. Okay, well, let me just read this and I'll give it context. So you heard how he was talking about A-list Hollywood, you know, celebrities or actors and actresses going in and basically doing this process where they're creating a digital twin version of them so that they can not have to have them present to make movies or to make content. And this is the epitome of what you call a 360 deal, where once you sign your rights over in this regard to have this clone or this digital twin of you, they pay you a certain amount. I don't know, maybe they pay you royalties, but it would be nothing like you would be making if you were actually going in and filming a movie, right? And this is why one of the reasons why they've been intentionally collapsing the system and the ecosystem of Hollywood, because they eventually want to gear towards all of the programming as well as the entertainment industry to be run and operated through AI, which is boring as to me, because I just think, you know, the science of acting and you know, you've seen bad movies and whack movies versus good movies, you know, Denzel Washington versus, I don't know, pick a bad actor, right? And so the heart and the soul of what the human being brings to the table in energy, in passion, in creativity, they're trying to remove that from the spectrum. So at the same time, digital twins are also all of us online. This is another reason why AI is mapping out our movements, what we do, what we say, how we move, because it is also creating a digital twin version for each of us as individuals. It's currently already in use in manufacturing and industrial sectors. Factories build digital twins of production lines to identify bottlenecks, reconfigure layouts, and engage in predictive maintenance on heavy machinery before costly breakdowns occur. In healthcare, doctors are beginning to build digital replicas of specific patient organs to test how a tumor might respond to targeted chemotherapy or radiation before applying the treatment in real life. Smart cities and infrastructure. Urban planners create digital twins of entire city grids to analyze traffic flow, optimize energy consumption, and test the impact of new buildings or public transit systems. And then aerospace and automotive, Formula One teams and aerospace engineers run digital twins through virtual wind tunnels to optimize aerodynamics and durability before ever manufacturing a physical prototype. So there's always a logical and a good explanation and reason on why they're doing it up front. But the flip side for us is, what could this potentially mean if what could this potentially mean if it's being used in the wrong way?
Hey Meta, take a picture. So Kylie's Meta AI glasses collab is actually evil. It's not just because of the disgusting display of wealth in that ad. So way back in February, a Swedish newspaper revealed that workers in Kenya were reviewing Meta glasses footage without the wearer's knowledge. These underpaid workers were made to watch uncensored videos of people getting dressed, going to the bathroom, and having sex. And much of the footage they were watching seemed to be taken accidentally. Of course, all of this was being done to train AI. Workers were labeling the footage to teach Meta's AI object identification. And after that story came out, Meta immediately fired the Kenyan contracting firm, laying off all 1,000 employees. This is actually not the first time Meta has outsourced this type of labor to underpaid workers in Kenya. Actually worked with the exact same Kenyan contracting firm, Sama, to do content moderation. And in 2024, 140 of those content moderators sued both Sama and Meta, alleging that watching hours of uncensored, horrific content gave them PTSD. Back to the glasses. At the beginning of June, Wired uncovered that Meta was quietly adding facial recognition technology for its smart glasses to every single iPhone. The feature was called Name Tag and would identify people captured by the glasses and share information about them. Internal memos revealed that Meta was specifically interested in releasing Name Tag during a moment of political turmoil in the United States, because it would preoccupy their detractors and shield them from legal scrutiny. After this revelation by Wired, Meta execs went on the defensive, and they quietly removed Name Tag from the Meta AI app code. While this is a win, I don't really trust it, because we have no idea Meta's future plans for Name Tag. So all of that is to say that these glasses are incredibly fishy, and I would be very dubious of them. So
let me just bring myself back up here. I still have a pretty good amount of content, including the MK Ultra element of this and several other things. However, the way that my energy and spirit is feeling right now, I'm going to end this video. Thank you to those of you guys who donated or who contributed as far as super chats. I appreciate the support, and I will see you guys very soon. Peace and love.